Hello dear students, I am Dr. Hina Mewada, Assistant Professor, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Department of Prasuti and Stri Rog. In today's session, I will discuss about amenorrhea part first. So, amenorrhea literally means absence of menstruation. There are two types of amenorrhea, that is physiological and pathological. The physiological amenorrhea occur during pregnancy, during lactation, and after menopause, and also prior to puberty. There is a primary amenorrhea prior to puberty and secondary amenorrhea during pregnancy, during lactation, and after menopause. The pathological amenorrhea are caused due to the disturbance of HPO uterine axis, genetic factor, systemic diseases, psychological factor, and endocrinopathies, etc. The pathological amenorrhea are further divided into concealed and real type. The concealed type is also called cryptoamenorrhea. In cryptoamenorrhea, there is periodic shedding of endometrium and bleeding, but the menstrual blood fails to come out from the genital tract because of obstruction. The cryptoamenorrhea is also two types, congenital and acquired. The second type of pathological amenorrhea is real or true, which further divided into primary and secondary amenorrhea. The primary amenorrhea means absence of menses by 16 years of age in presence of secondary sexual characteristics, or by 14 years if secondary sexual characteristics have not developed. The secondary amenorrhea means absence of menses for 3 normal cycle or for 6 months. So, in this session, I am going to discuss about causes, investigation and treatment of primary amenorrhea. So, first of all, causes of primary amenorrhea. There is delayed puberty, stress, weight loss, excessive exercise, anorexia nervosa, and central nervous system tumor. All three causes are due to the hypogonadotropic hypogonadism. Because of inadequate GnRH pulse secretion, there is a reduce in FSH and LH, and further reducing the gonadal hormone. So in these three conditions, there is a hypogonadotropic hypogonadism. The next cause are primary ovarian failure or resistant ovarian syndrome. It causes hypergonadotropic hypogonadism state, where the gonadotropin secretions are normal, but gonadal hormone or sex hormone are not secreted in proper form because of ovarian dysfunction. Next cause is abnormal chromosomal pattern like Turner syndrome, in which the chromosome pattern is 45X, and pure gonadal dysgenesis, where the female is phenotypically normal but gonad is strict. Next cause is developmental defect of genital tract like imperforate hymen, transverse vaginal septum, atresia of upper one third of vagina, complete absence of vagina, and absence of uterus. Next causes is dysfunction of thyroid and adrenal cortex like hypothyroidism and cretinism, metabolic disorder like juvenile diabetes, systemic disorder like malnutrition and anemia, and unresponsive endometrium, under which uterine synecdoche and tubercular endometritis are the cause. So now coming to the diagnosis. The diagnosis is formed from three criteria. First of all, history. In history, there is a family history, medical history, and other history. Examination. of secondary sexual characteristics, and then investigation. So the investigation protocol are when patient have primary amenorrhea, then identify the normal secondary sexual characteristics. When secondary sexual characteristics are normal, then USG should be done or laparoscopy should be done. In USG, when uterus is absent, then further investigation is karyotype. When uterus is present, then decide whether outflow tract obstruction is there or not. When outflow, when the uterus is in normal anatomy or reproductive organ is normal, then further investigation is done in the form of hormones, FSH, LH, prolactin, thyroid, etc. When FSH is low or normal, there is a physiological delay or hypothalamic cause of amenorrhea. When LH and FSH ratio is increased, which is more than 2:1, then it is due to the PCOS. When LH and FSH both are increases, it is due to the premature ovarian failure or resistant ovary or gonadal dysgenesis. When there is a poor or absent secondary sexual characters, then height should be examined. If height is normal, further FSH and LS should be done. If FSH is high, further karyotyping should be done. In karyotyping, when chromosomal pattern is 46XX found, so it is due to the ovarian failure. When karyotype pattern is 46XY, it is due to the gonadal agenesis. When FSH level is low and normal with normal height, it is due to the physiological delay or due to the Kalman syndrome. So further CT or MRI should be done for any CNS lesion. If height is short, then further investigation will LH and FSH. FSH and LH is low, then it is due to the hypothalamo-pituitary dysfunction or intracranial lesion. Further investigation is CT and MRI. If secondary sexual characteristics is poor and further height is short and FSH and LH level is high, then karyotype should be done. In karyotype, 46X0, 46XX or 46XY pattern are found, which is due to the gonadal dysgenesis. Now, what are the management of primary amenorrhea? The management are according to the cause. In complete agenesis of vagina, where vagina is not formed, the vaginal reconstruction surgery should be done. In imperforate hymen, the cruciate incision should be done over hymen to form a vaginal orifice. In chromosomal abnormalities like Turner and other type of chromosomal abnormality, use of combined estrogen and progesterone for short-term therapy should be beneficial. In gonadal dysgenesis, there is a removal of gonads of XY. In androgen insensitivity syndrome, the ectopic gonads are to be removed. When hypothalamic pituitary tumor occur, there is the treatment option is surgery, excision, or radiotherapy. When amenorrhea is due to the thyroid dysfunction, thyroid replacement therapy should be beneficial. When it is due to the diabetes, anti-diabetic therapy when it is due to the tuberculosis, anti-tubercular drugs are helpful. In systemic causes, anemia and malnutrition should be correct. For ovulation induction, there is a hormonal replacement therapy. In uterine synecdoche, there is a adhesiolysis and intrauterine contraceptive devices are introduced in uterus. And in the hyperprolactinemia cases, bromocriptine 1.25 mg per day is given, or cabergoline 0.25 mg is given. Thank you.